So what I'm going to do now is just do random painting, texture, stuff, all over the page, and then develop shapes in that painting. And I think where a lot of people get in trouble when they're trying to go to a less literal way of painting is worrying too much about the technique of developing, the textures, and not then remembering to discipline the textures into shapes. So what I'm going to do is just maybe texture, pretty much texture the whole page with different kinds of surface treatment, and then come back and develop my big shape. Maybe even a shape that relates to those two shapes. Hopefully, that's what I'm after. Since I've got this cadmium red out, I may just scoop up a big blob of that. If I've got something to scoop with, maybe just a finger. Put it on the page, move it around a bit. Oops, 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 oops. Oh, I like that. See, depending on how you drag one of these things, you get these incredible marks. But what I'm after is all over texture. Whoo! An awful lot of red. I like that little light piece. I'll leave it. Cover those. Okay, now I've got a lot of undercolor that I can work with. This is an underpainting, which is very important. And it's easy too, because the first washes are so beautiful, so you end up with these glorious colors and mixtures and edges that you don't want to disturb. And so then the mistake I see too many people make is to sort of hang your detail on that. And there's a middle stage that's real important, and often the middle stage is really ugly. But you have to push a painting to really get to that feeling that behind these trees there's stuff. Behind everything, underneath the earth, there is stuff. And on a painting, there's an understructure, there's undercolor that when you paint over and see through to it, is what gives you kind of gutsy looking finish to your painting. And I think, we all want to go beyond being easy. And so when you've reached a point where you don't want to be easy anymore, you mess around with this kind of stuff, which is why I paint this way, because I've painted all my life. And I think artists have a low threshold for boredom. So I got tired of knowing what was going to happen when I painted. And if you don't know what's going to happen, and you let it surprise you once in a while, you learn a lot. You may not get great paintings, but you learn a lot. Now, where do I want a real handprint? Okay, we're going to stop on this one and see where to go next, although I am going to create maybe a more angular shape that relates to those others, pushed farther to one side, using that as a big part of it, and this, and that as a balance point, perhaps. That's my thinking. One thing I've learned, though, is I don't try to make too many decisions all at once. I may say, well, it would be nice to do this shape, this red shape that leads clear over to this edge, maybe. Have this piece for balance. Simplify a lot of this. But all I can deal with is the next change, the first thing, because then it changes all the relationships and rearranges the next decision. So that even though I think I see an end in the next step at any one given moment, the way I do, I think painting is a little like trying to describe a dream to somebody. image is somewhere out there on the edge of your consciousness, but you can't quite put it into words, because when you put it into words, everything changes. Nothing's quite what it seemed to you like it was going to be. And that's what painting is. You know, I think I know what's next. I can only know what's the very next thing. I can't know what all the next things are in this kind of painting.